The Middle Ages, often described as the period between the fall of the Roman Empire and the Renaissance, was a time of significant social and economic changes in Europe. At the heart of this period was the feudal system, a hierarchical structure in which the daily lives of farmers and serfs were dominated by landowners or the nobility. The majority of the population in the Middle Ages consisted of farmers, many of whom were serfs. Serfs were bound to the land and to the will of their lord. They had the duty to cultivate the land, and in return, they received protection and a piece of land to sustain their own livelihoods. The life of a serf was far from easy. Their days were filled with hard work in the fields, from sunrise to sunset, with only Sundays free from labor for church services. The fruits of their labor had to be given to the Lord, with only a small portion allowed for their own use. Farmers' families lived in simple houses made of wood and clay with thatched roofs. The house was usually one large room where cooking, eating, and sleeping took place. The floors were made of dirt and the furniture was basic. Their diet consisted mainly of bread, vegetables, and occasionally meat, which was considered a luxury. The economy of the Middle Ages was primarily agricultural and self-sufficient. Trade was limited and local markets were the central points where goods were exchanged. Farmers could trade their surplus for other goods and sometimes for money, although the economy was largely based on barter. In addition to working the land, serfs had other obligations. They had to pay taxes in kind, such as a portion of the harvest, and they had to perform services for their lord, such as repairing roads and bridges, or building defensive structures. Social mobility was limited in the Middle Ages. The fate of a serf was often lifelong and hereditary. However, some could buy their freedom or acquire a better position through craftsmanship or trade, although this was not common. Free farmers could bring legal disputes to a local court, where conflicts were resolved according to customary law. This was a collection of local traditions and customs that had been passed down through generations and recognized by the ruling class.